Okay, so AI in education, it's everywhere, right? Everyone's talking about it. But what's it actually all about?
Well, it's really more than just hype at this point.
Oh,
It's
no.
really changing how things work, not just for students, by the way.
Yeah, and that's what we're diving into today. It's AI in academic writing, but for everyone, for educators, for students, like anyone who cares about learning. And we've got some really interesting stuff to work with for this deep dive.
Yeah.
We've got like a whole research paper on the ethics of it all, a university's guidelines, even a journal article.
It's going to be a wild ride, honestly. So, where do we even start with this? AI writing tools, ChatGPT especially,
Oh,
right?
yeah. ChatGPT is unavoidable at this point.
And the thing is, it's everywhere so fast. Faster than anything we've seen.
I'm seriously faster than TikTok.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, and it's not just the speed. Think about it. This thing can pass the U.S. medical licensing exam, law exams.
Like serious exams.
If it can do that, it makes you think, what's that mean for how we test knowledge?
It's like, are we even testing the right things anymore? Remember, like, right when it came out, everyone was saying the college essay is dead?
Oh, yeah. The Atlantic even had that headline, the college essay is dead. And some of the reactions were interesting. Like, some universities in Australia, they brought back pen and paper exams.
Seriously, like going totally old school.
Yeah. I mean, what else can you do? It's like trying to ban the internet, right?
Totally. But if we can't just, like, go offline, where's the line? Obviously, you can't just have AI write your paper, but what about all the other stuff?
That's the question, isn't it? And to be honest, no one really has the answer yet. Even experts are trying to figure out what's okay and what's not.
Okay, so how are universities handling this then? It seems like it would be chaos.
Actually, it's more like controlled chaos, maybe.
Okay.
Universities are actually getting pretty strategic about it.
Yeah.
Like, take York University, for example. They've got these guidelines now for professors, like how to put AI use right in their syllabus.
Oh, wow. So it's not just don't use AI. They're telling professors to actually talk to their students about it.
Exactly. And not just talk about it, but show them examples. Like, here's how you can use AI ethically in this assignment.
That's way more helpful than I thought universities would be.
And then there's the University of Waterloo. They've got an entire committee dedicated to AI and academic integrity.
A whole committee.
Yeah.
That's serious.
Yeah, they're not messing around. And it's not just universities. Even the big organizations are getting involved. The MLA, the CCCC, they've teamed up.
Okay, so the people who practically invented writing are on the case.
Pretty much. And they're saying, look, it's not enough to just punish students for using it. We have to teach them how to use AI the right way.
Okay, so teach, don't punish. I like that approach.
It's about making AI a partner in learning, not the enemy.
Instead of seeing it as a threat, we need to figure out how to make it an opportunity, right?
Yeah, you're getting it.
It's kind of like we talk about AI changing everything, but isn't change like the one constant in education?
It's true. Things are always changing, but this feels different, right?
Yeah, this feels bigger, like a fundamental shift.
And faster. We've never seen anything move this quickly.
And speaking of fast, one thing we haven't really gotten into is how people are actually misusing AI. Like, we've talked ethics, but what about the reality?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's really hard to stay ahead of the misuse when the technology itself is changing so rapidly.
Right, like by the time you write a rule, someone's found a way around it.
Exactly. And that's why I think the focus on guidelines and open communication is so important. We can't just be reactive. We have to be proactive.
So less about playing whack-a-mole with every new AI trick and more about creating a culture where people understand the stakes.
Right. Because it's about more than just following rules. It's about understanding the why behind them. And that's why those organizations, like the MLA, pushing for education over just punishment, it's huge.
Totally. Because if someone's using AI to cheat, maybe they don't understand why that's wrong. Like, it's not just about getting caught. It's about academic integrity.
And the bigger picture, right? Like, what are you actually learning if you're not doing the work yourself?
Okay, so those universities we talked about, with their guidelines, their committees, are they actually onto something here?
I think so, because it shows they're taking this seriously. It's not just a fad, it's the new reality, and they're adapting.
It's kind of reassuring, actually, seeing some institutions stepping up instead of just freaking out.
Right. And the best part is, they're not just trying to stop the bad. They're trying to figure out how to use AI for good.
Okay, so let's talk about that. We keep mentioning the good stuff, but what does that actually look like?
Well, remember that Science Direct article? The one that breaks down AI's impact into those 6 domains.
Oh, yeah. 6 domains. Sounds very official.
It kind of is. But it's helpful because it shows us just how broad AI's reach is. Like, remember how we talked about literature reviews?
Yeah, because who wants to read a million papers?
Exactly. But imagine if you had an AI that could help you make sense of all that research and not just summarize it, but find the gaps, the connections that maybe no one's even noticed before.
That's kind of mind-blowing, actually. It's like AI going from assistant to, like, research partner.
Right. And that's just one domain. Think about brainstorming new ideas.
Oh, man, I could use that for, like, every single paper I ever wrote.
I know, right? But seriously, AI can actually help with that now, coming up with new research questions, exploring different perspectives.
So no more staring at a blank page for hours.
Well, maybe not zero staring, but it could help you get unstuck. And it's not just about the ideas themselves, but how you structure them, how you communicate your research in a way that's clear and engaging.
Oh, so like having an AI writing coach in your pocket.
Exactly. And then there's the whole data management aspect. AI can analyze huge data sets, find patterns, and help researchers make sense of complex information.
Which is super important these days because there's just so much data out there.
It's overwhelming. But AI can help us cut through the noise and find the signal.
And don't forget about the editing and publishing side of things.
Oh, right. AI proofreaders, plagiarism checkers, even tools to help you navigate the whole journal submission process.
So basically, AI could be involved in every step of the academic journey, from the initial idea to getting your work published.
Pretty much. And we haven't even touched on the potential for AI in communication and outreach.
Like making sure your research actually reaches the people who need it.
Exactly. AI can help translate research into different languages, create more engaging presentations, even tailor content to specific audiences.
Wow, it really seems like the possibilities are endless, but it also feels like we're just scratching the surface here.
Oh, absolutely. We're still in the very early stages of understanding AI's potential in academia.
Which is exciting.
Yeah.
But also a little daunting, like, how do we make sure we're using this incredible power for good?
That's the million-dollar question. And honestly, I don't think there's one easy answer, but I do think it starts with recognizing that this is a conversation we need to be having right now.
Not putting our heads in the sand and pretending it's not happening.
Exactly. We need to be talking to each other, to our students, to everyone about the ethical implications of AI, about the potential benefits and risks.
Because it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we choose to use it.
Exactly. AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. It's up to us to decide which path we want to take.
You know, it's funny. We talk about AI changing everything, but like, hasn't education always been about adapting to new tools?
That's a really good point, actually.
Like the printing press, computers, the internet. We've always had to figure out how to use new technologies to learn.
It's true. And each time there's this wave of fear, right? Like, oh no, this new thing is going to ruin everything. But
somehow we figure it out.
Exactly. We adapt, we evolve, and hopefully we end up better than before.
Okay, but this time feels different though, right? Like AI is more than just a new tool. It's a whole new way of thinking.
It is different. It's more fundamental because AI isn't just changing how we learn. It's making us question what it even means to learn.
Okay, whoa, that's deep. So how do we even start to wrap our heads around that? How do we make sure this whole AI thing goes in a good direction?
Well, it has to start with ethics. Like right from the beginning, we need to build AI with ethics in mind.
Because if we don't,
we risk creating AI that's as flawed as we are. AI that's biased, unfair, even dangerous.
So how do we make sure those ethics are more than just words on paper? How do they actually get put into practice?
Honestly, it's going to take all of us. Developers, educators, policymakers, everyone has to be talking to each other, figuring out the best way forward.
It's bigger than any one person or organization.
Way bigger. It's about our values as a society. What do we want to prioritize? What kind of future are we building?
Okay, so we need these ethical guidelines, this big conversation.
Yeah.
But what about the students? Where do they fit in all of this?
Students are at the heart of this. We need to prepare them for a world where AI is everywhere.
And not just by teaching them how to use AI.
Right. We need to teach them how to think critically about AI, how to spot bias, how to evaluate information, how to use it ethically.
So digital literacy, but on a whole other level.
Exactly. We need a generation that's not just tech savvy, but AI savvy.
Wow. Okay. There's a lot to think about here and a lot of work to do.
There is, but I'm actually optimistic.
Really?
Right, because we're having this conversation, we're acknowledging the challenges, but we're also excited about the possibilities. And that gives me hope.
Yeah, it feels like we're on the edge of something really big. A little scary, sure, but mostly exciting.
Exactly. And if we can approach this new era with curiosity, with collaboration, and with a strong commitment to ethics.
Then maybe we can actually make education better for everyone, more accessible, more equitable, more engaging.
That's the goal.
Well, on that note, I think we've done about all the deep diving we can handle for one day.
I agree.
But to everyone listening, this conversation isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep learning. The future of education, and maybe even humanity itself, depends on it.
Absolutely. The future is ours to create.